Hello, everyone. Today is the 17th of June, 2021, and it is day 28. So, I want to welcome all and thank you for watching my um, Rethink and Develop 100 Days. R&D 100 Days starts with rethinking, followed by development. And today's day 28. Rethinking. Today's day 28, and we are going to be developing a tasty community that we have rethinked yesterday. So, we'll be continuing on the developing from last week, okay? And last week, we talked about good food sharing and how that runs in the economy, contributing to the safety and less waste, more efficient use of resources in the community. And today, I want to talk about the other component of tasty community, and that component is good news sharing. Okay, it's just as simple as this talk, right? Well, what is good news sharing, as you may ask? What is the difference from texting your friend and telling them the weather today? So, good news. So, the difference is that good news sharing comes from people's heart and happiness. Okay, it comes from their heart and it comes from their innate, their intimate source of happiness. Good news sharing is not materialistic, right? What does materialistic mean? It's things that are of material. Like I am happy because I have the newest phone to launch, right? That's materialistic. I have the most expensive watch, right? Happy due to materialistic means. That's not really good news, really. It's just materialistic, right? It's just wealth. What happiness? There's only a very finite number of happiness that wealth can bring you, that material wealth can bring you. But instead, good news sharing comes from the heart happiness and comes from the sentiments and testimony from them and their heart. Okay, it's sentimental, the opposite of materialistic, seeing the true meaning and their testimony from their hearts. The testimony from their hearts is something that's affected them directly, not just telling the other person the weather or the top breaking news today. Now people can confirm what really is their faith to, right? Not really your conviction, but your faith, right? Now we can confirm, like, oh, where does our faith come from? Who do I have to thank for all of this? Okay. I think that if you can share their faith from their testimony, then it's going to separate from the religious component that all of us think and may even practice still, and that many people who look down upon it, right? Now, what's problem with the religion is that we want to separate from religion because religion gives the wrong picture, right? It doesn't rely on faith, it just relies on rules and dead works, right? Not good works, but dead works, right? In terms of happiness, you cannot receive the happiness from religion, right? And it may pay many costs, right? Um, some people think that, oh, if you bow your head 3 times, then it's going to bring you good fortune, right? If you say this or memorize that, or if you go attack this without context, then you're going to receive happiness. But in reality, that's not, and that's what makes people look down not just on religion, but on all parts, right? On all parts of the on all parts of the faith. Okay, faith is most important, right? um pay many costs, and religion can be manipulated, right? Like I've said, right, things can be taken without context and make people believe it to be true. And there's no faith in that, right? And that brings many risks, right? So good news sharing, right, out from this, it can reduce conflict and have more understanding between people, between families, between society, between the community, and eventually between the world, right? Reduce conflict, more understanding, and more happiness, like I said, from the heart, right? Less of the materialistic things. People can share what they receive from other people, and they can communicate through testimonies, right? Now, you might be asking now, where can testimonies come from? Testimonies can come from life, their education, and it can let many people understand their religious beliefs and faith, that they may have both, and they may want to lose the religious aspect, because there's many differences, like I just said, right? Faith is the true belief in something, right? True conviction. So where does happiness come from? Happiness comes from the faith, as you can imagine. Okay. So when people's happiness can be a testimony, when you testify your happiness, people's outlook and attitude on life will change, right? People can reduce some sudden conflicts in everywhere, right? Like, oh, like, we can reduce the depression and the anxiety that we have from a lack of faith. Like, oh, I think I'm going to get fired tomorrow. I think I'll get laid off. I think I'm going to be in a crash. Like some tragedies, right? And then some tragedies do come, and that when they come, it's too late, because we don't think about happiness, like homicides and all those terrible, terrible things, right? So we can reduce the conflicts and reduce these tragedies, right? We no longer need to rely on the police to sort of patrol everywhere and make it an unpleasant sight, right? We don't need to rely on the hospital, the wailing of the ambulance, and the EMT, the emergency sirens, right? That alert us that, oh, look, a tragedy has happened. Because when you hear those sounds, right? If you think about it, it's too late. And so as a result, we need to have this positive attitude on society, right? So at the same time, we can invite to our good news sharing. We can invite the local church, right, based on their faith. Schools, right, nonprofits, the NGOs, psychologists, people that deal with the anxiety, right? They can share about their testimonies, and they can help people through that. If people prefer to work through that, or need some push or some help, maybe some pastors, right? Um, Now you might be asking now, well, can't it come from a book? Can't you just read a happy book? Well, I believe that testimonies don't really come from a book sometimes, because it may have many hidden motives and hidden meanings. A book can be faked, and it can be not written from the heart, or it can be written from a very dark and mean heart, right? And they may have a different motive. Testimonies are exempt because I feel that they're from the heart, and they are a real thing. So today I talked about the good news sharing in the tasty community, and so basically it comes from people's heart and happiness, not materialistic, and where it really comes from is their faith, and that's how we can save people. Okay, we can make the community a more happy, more heartful, and better place. Okay. So next week I'm going to talk about the other components about the tasty community, but we have covered the good news sharing and good food sharing already, and so tomorrow and the day after, tomorrow and the day after, we're gonna focus on carbs. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all. Thank you guys for listening. I can see you guys tomorrow.